Welcome to SpeakUp Talks. My name is Travis, and I'm joined by Dan Ball, account executive here at SpeakUp. Thanks for joining us.
Great stuff. Thanks for having me.
Today's episode, I think, is a bit of an interesting one for anyone who works in the ethics and compliance industry. And basically, the idea is that setting up processes, policies, and workflows is super important. Helps us get the work done, but it's all for naught if nobody actually reports anything. So I wanted to take the time to basically look at the call center, the telephone side of reporting, and maybe dig deeper into the challenges of traditional hotlines or call centers, and also maybe look at how AI is maybe disrupting that space.
Absolutely.
So Dan, you've worked in the compliance industry for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are around this topic and what challenges you've seen in the industry and the people you've spoken to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been in the whistleblowing space for about 12, 13 years now. Worked at all the players that we know and love, our competitors that are, use the orange coloring, the purple coloring that are no longer around anymore, and the green logo as well. All great players in the space. But before I joined SpeakUp, really, I was looking to join a company that really had a different view and approach, because in terms of the customers I've looked after over the years, it's really been across Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia. And every chief compliance officer we would speak with has the same challenges, and it's around telephony. And those challenges, traditional telephony-based call center where you've got a call center and reporters would call numbers in to make that report. And the challenges really are not unique to any particular competitor. It's just because of the telephony model. It's broken, and it was broken 10 years ago, and it's only really got worse now. The challenges we see around traditional call centers is, one, long wait times for interpreters. If English isn't your first language, you may be based in the US or the UK, doesn't mean you feel most comfortable speaking English. So if you call up, you're emotional, you're upset, you've been really thinking about this for some time, and you want to give that report, and then you've got to wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes for whatever language, you're not going to do that. You're going to hang up that phone, and as a chief compliance officer, that opportunity is lost. You've missed that. So that's one, is long wait times for interpreters. The second is around deadlines. So in high volume countries, US, Spain, UK, for example, the telephony systems and networks and operators are pretty good, pretty reliable. Those lines are there. But as you get into places like Africa and wider places like that, telephony providers are often, the lines are going dead, they're going down, and you as a chief compliance officer often have no idea what lines are active or not. So again, you're missing those reports if people are coming forwards. Or in those regions as well, you've got two-step dialing. So you've got to call a number, putting in another code to go to another number. Again, that is just another barrier to entry. So you've got deadlines, long interpreter wait times, that just a really glitchy process. And then finally is around that consistency of experience for the reporter. We tested a lot of lines, a lot of call centers, and I don't know whether the call center staff, sometimes maybe they've had an argument with their partner, maybe they're in a bad mood, and questions aren't quite asked in a sympathetic manner. And that again can put people off. Or maybe put yourself in the shoes of a reporter, you're maybe a supplier, so you don't work for XYZ company, and you're asked, well, what location did it happen? You say, I don't know, I'm not based in the office, I was visiting them. And we've had instances where that call center said, well, if you don't know, I can't help you.
Wow.
So it's, as a chief compliance officer, you need to know you have a process that's consistable and auditable, so you can really follow that. So as I said, those challenges are not unique to any provider, whether it's orange or green, for example. That is the challenge of a call center.
I mean, you definitely laid out a lot of challenges from the reporter perspective, which obviously reducing that friction and getting them to actually leave reports, share their concerns, and give us the ability to surface this risk and actually investigate it. It's really important. But also from the organizational side of things, what challenges have you seen also from the traditional model?
Yeah, I think another one is really the demographic of the workforce is changing. It's a lot younger, and that's only been obviously changing for over the last decade or so, where you hear of millennials, Gen Z, whatever it may be, not using the phone. To traditionally call, it's all about WhatsApp, texting, instant kind of messaging. That's not going away. We all use WhatsApp for business. We all use ChatGPT, and everyone is used to just instant. So if you're asking someone of that generation to then also call, wait long time for interpreters, you're just speaking a different language.
Yeah,
really.
I would say, for lack of a better analogy, it's like asking someone of my generation or younger to send an actual letter to get something
Fax.
done. Yeah. Fax
Yeah,
indeed.
everyone now is used to, if you have a question, you used to Google it. Now it's you chat GPT, right? There are, I've heard of a number of companies that have basically an AI and a chat GPT therapy services that help people talk about certain things. This is normal now. This is part of everyday life. And you really got to always put yourself in the shoes of a reporter around whistleblowing. When people are speaking up, it's not something they tend to do lightly. They've been thinking about it, fretting about it, speaking to their other half about it for a long time. And if there are then barriers to entry when they call, you're going to lose that person. So you want to break down those barriers.
Definitely. Well, we're talking about barriers and engagements, just in reporting. Can you maybe share your experiences just in having conversations with the chief compliance officers around kind of how this impacts reporting engagements?
Yeah, I've seen a consistent theme and trend with phone reports are absolutely declining.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot more come through the web and web intake. It's just easier, isn't it? We tend to see a lot of options around having free text options, so you're not constricted to all these fields. So people can naturally just kind of data dump what they're feeling, what they've seen, what they've heard, and give that information to you in a very human fashion.
Yeah, and it feels more private as well. People can't overhear you typing.
Exactly. You've got a lot of people that are on the road, they're traveling. You want to be able to do that in a very quick and easy fashion. But no, the trends we see around chief compliance officers is the calls are dropping off a cliff, and they're asking themselves this question. Compliance budgets are not getting bigger. Compliance teams are not getting bigger. They're under a lot of pressure from the board to use AI to be more efficient, and compliance officers are looking at their costs, and the telephony cost for running a call center is huge. And you think, well, we've got this big cost. Some of it is for countries where they're not even getting reports every year, or maybe one or two. In this climate, you have to weigh up the risk and reward here. So there's got to be a different way to do it.
So we've explored the traditional model, hotlines, call centers, a bit broken, quite a lot broken. And if we look at the future, which I think we're already experiencing today, which is AI, where do you see AI coming kind of into play here?
Yeah, I think, look, a couple of years ago, AI was very much a buzzword and everyone was excited about it, but nervous, quite rightly. So fast forward to now, the compliance teams I'm speaking with, everyone is under pressure from their board to use AI and to be more efficient in how they're using their work. So how SpeakUp uses AI in the intake process, and this is genuinely unique to us, and I've not seen this anywhere else, is rather than calling a call center and speaking to a person, we have an AI agent, Sienna, that you would call. You are instantly connected, and then you can report in your own language. So you are not waiting for an interpreter, whether it's French, Spanish, German, Swahili. You're instantly connected, so you've not got those barriers there. And I want to be really clear. It's as if you're having a conversation with a person. So you could say, I saw our head of procurement in the car park with a supplier who gave him a envelope full of cash. And Sienna would ask, well, where was that? who, what, when, where, why. It is a two-way communication.
Yeah.
It's really, really impressive. And so it's instantly connected. There's no issues with languages and translations. That's instantly done. One-step dialing. It's always live, so there's no deadline. So you've got that predictability and that assurance there. You can do it anonymously as well.
Yeah.
So the reporter's voice is then scrambled, so you don't know their gender, who they are. And then finally, and this is what most compliance officers like, it's a hell of a lot cheaper, right? Because we're not paying for that infrastructure of a telephony based model. And consistency is really important with reporting as well. Again, if you've got employees based all over the world, you want to ensure that whether they're reporting from the US or Germany, it's that same consistent questioning, empathetic tone. And that's a great thing with the Sienna AI is you decide the questions. During implementation, we would upload your whistleblowing policies so it understands, and all the questions are trained and set by you. So it is consistent. There is no, I'm in a bad mood, or I'm running late, I need to shoot in 5 minutes, can we wrap up this call? It is consistent each time, which again is all, it's about asking questions with an empathetic view to get the right information.
And I think one thing that many people forget is, traditional call center, you need to build all the training, you need to train the people, you need to set it up, hire people in some cases, most cases not, but with AI, very quickly it's ramped up to whatever volume you need, which I think is very, very handy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take maybe a moment to walk in the shoes of a reporter of someone who has left a voice intake with the AI voice agents. What happens after they've left that call, which you just explained to us a bit, how it works? What happens after that data's come in and that call's been left?
Yeah, so in terms of the case handler on the back end, they would be notified immediately that there is a new case. Once they're in the case management system, a challenge we would typically hear before is with these, people would give War and Peace. They give a lot of information, and a case handler is going to have to read through all of that. What severity is it? What kind of issue is it? Is it fraud? Is it sexual harassment, for example? That takes a long time to read that and understand what's going on there. So what we would do on the back end is you have the ability to, AI can summarize the case. So it's going to read the entire case, read the messages from the reporter to yourself, and summarize it and say, look, this is sexual harassment, high severity, happened in our Spanish office, for example, and you as a case handler would agree or disagree with that categorization. And then if you approve it, it would be then triaged off to the right person to deal with that. So that is saving a lot of time doing that. I've heard of some customers that would get the case information, copy it, put it into a chat GPT to summarize it and save time there, and then paste that back. So from a privacy point of view and compliance point of view, that is, please don't do that. But another very real challenge we would hear with the legacy approach is a reporter is going to come in Romanian and the case handler speaks English. How do we do the translations? They would then have to pay for human translations.
Take a while to do.
Takes a long time. Oh my goodness, that's expensive. Again, we don't need to do that. It's translated with AI instantly. So that again saves a lot of time, saves a lot of effort there as well.
AI has a lot of capabilities, but I can imagine being quite new, it can be scary for a lot of people and organizations. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, AI it's a new thing, but not a new thing. Not everyone is ready to completely get rid of their telephony-based call center intake and switch it for AI. And I totally get that, right? We've definitely seen a shift the last couple of years with people being much more open to it now, and customers saying to us, we want to switch this on. We want to start using this. Our most common approach with new customers is actually a hybrid approach. So they're the highest volume countries still having telephony because in some setups, people are used to it. They feel comfortable. They've got a great culture of speaking up, and they don't want to change that. They want to carry on speaking to a human. I completely agree. Let's not take that away. But so having that in the high volume countries, and then in the lower volume countries where there's a lot of deadlines, there's not many reports, but they still want to support those employee populations there, having an AI intake. So you've got the best of the both worlds. So for the human interaction, the human contact, you've got that in high volume. Lower volume, more challenging countries, you've got the AI. So you've got the consistency, but also it's bringing down the cost as well. So the hybrid approach is what we're seeing from an intake, obviously alongside your web intake, your apps, your QR codes, your voice Dropbox. So it's a multiple intake.
So maybe to wrap up kind of this discussion, because obviously we talked about the traditional hotlines, call centers, the deficiencies there. We've explored AI, and obviously generally, but also what SpeakUp has to offer in terms of AI voice agent with Sienna. But I think it's also important to look at maybe future timelines. What do you see in the next maybe 2 years happening with call centers and by extension, maybe AI?
Yeah, look, the trend for AI is not going anywhere. It is every chief compliance officer I speak with is under pressure from the board to use AI. Their budgets are not getting bigger.
Yeah.
Their teams are not getting bigger. I've actually, after speaking with a number of teams recently, we're seeing compliance teams are actually letting go people that their roles were specifically for data and analytics and reporting, and they were doing that for ethics and compliance teams and other divisions in the business. We're seeing those roles being made redundant because a lot of that reporting and analytics is being done by AI now. So AI is here to stay. Businesses, I think, are sold on how we use it in the case management and the reporting, using it to be much more efficient with triage, with case summarizing, with the reporting. That just makes sense, right? Yeah. That is you're doing what would typically take you a long time as a chief compliance officer. The next stage is that intake. How can we be more cost efficient? How can we give our employees an easier way to speak up? How can we give them a quicker way to speak up? And that's a journey, and it's a phased rollout. It's a phased journey, but it's really unique because a lot of the players in the market, some claim they're using AI, and they are in the case management, and it's great. But it's that intake method. That's the age-old challenge: is how can you hear about the risk in your business? And that you need to give people the channels. You need to give them the options to speak up, and relying on technology that was outdated 10 years ago, it's not going to help.
All right, Dan, thanks for the insights. And I think the golden thread here is that if we want people to speak up, we need to make it easy for them. So
absolutely.
Thank you. And also thank you for listening.